About 7 or 8 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, I was asked to go and speak down in Brighton for a group of people who had a nutritional product that they wanted to bring to the market. And at that time, probably nearer 9 years ago, at that time I didn't know a great deal about it, but as a dentist I have a particular interest in general systemic health and the effects of the mouth on the rest of the body. So I went down to talk about that, and that was my talk. But before I did, a guy stood up and he said, you know, about 6 weeks ago I was dying. I'd been to the doctors, they'd done everything they could, and they basically sent me home to die. I could walk about three yards without being breathless, and so on and so on and so on. Got on this product, and look at me now, I'm playing tennis. And I sat there and I thought, oh my goodness, I'm the speaker for the day, and he's talking about something I don't really know a great deal about, which isn't difficult, but anyway, that was the way that it was. So after that, I went home and I thought, I've got to have a look at L-arginine, which is really what he was talking about, what it was, where it came from, why it did what it did, and what was important about it. And so I did all of that, and I went out and tried some L-arginine products. Now, the interesting thing from that point of view is that not all L-arginine products are born equal. And I had some problems with the arginine products that I was taking along the way. A lot of them caused gastric irritation and so on. And then eventually somebody called me and said, look, I've got this great product. Would you like to give it a go? I said, no, I'm through arginine products. And he said, yeah, I know, but would you like to try it anyway? I said, no, send me some. So I started to take this, and I didn't really read the label. I read the label in terms of the ingredients, but not how much to take. And I decided I'd take half the recommended dose and see how I went and make sure I didn't get some sort of gastric irritation. Anyway, I took the full dose, or the full amount that was recommended daily allowance, no problems at all, but it worked. And I found that the palpitations that I got and so on just disappeared, and I haven't had them since. So this was great. I thought, this is wonderful, it works for me. I'm taking something that I understand now. I understand its action. I understand from a dental perspective what this can do for the gums and the tissues around the teeth. I understood all of that, and I was able to look after myself as well. And that was obviously the driving factor in many of us. You talk to a lot of my professional colleagues, they may not talk openly about nutritional products, but a lot of them take them. A lot of medical doctors take them as well, because we know that the body only works well on good nutrition. And this is what this was offering with this particular product. I mean, the company has brought a couple of other products to the table which are fantastic in terms of antioxidants. And there's a lot of research in the dental literature about the loss of antioxidants or oxidative stress within the mouth increasing the risk of periodontal or gum disease. And that therefore we should be looking perhaps at what we can do about that in terms of antioxidants. And why is that important? Because there is absolutely now a link between gum disease and heart disease. And I mentioned to you just earlier that I had a patient who came in a couple of weeks ago to see me, and he'd had all the surgery, everything for his gum disease that you could imagine. And he still had the problem. And he'd been seeing some very eminent colleagues of mine. He'd done everything he could, and nothing was helping. I said, look, I'd like you to take this Mystify, which is an acai berry mixture, which is full of antioxidants, and let's see how you go with that. He came back to see me 2 weeks later, which is just a week before I came over from Australia to be here. And he said, I feel great. I said, well, what about your mouth? Oh yeah, that's okay, but I feel great. He said, and we looked in his mouth, and sure enough, you're starting to see resolution within that very short period of time. So that's what it's all about. You know, quite often as dentists, and everybody can relate to this, you go to the dentist and they tell you off for not brushing your teeth. It's because it's not the full picture. We're a bit mean, you know, we say, oh, you don't brush your teeth, that's why you've got gum disease. No. You've done everything you can do. We understand that. You're brushing really well. You're doing everything you can. You could improve here or there. But hey, if that hasn't given the full answer, then we need to have a look at what else we can offer you. And I believe part of that is increasing the good nutrition that's going into the body to help the body heal itself.
My story is I am on medication for high blood pressure and have been for a number of years. And I was very concerned about that because my dad had a stroke at 73 and died at the age of 88. In the 15 years he lived with me, and his right side was paralysed, he couldn't walk properly, his right hand was paralysed, and his speech he was impaired completely. I could just try to understand him, but it was very difficult. And of course, he was always a very active man, and found life was not good to him, and life was very difficult. And I did not want to go down that road. So I started taking all V3 products, and my blood pressure within a short space of time came down to normal. And my life is so much better. I sleep much better. When I wake up in the morning, I am awake and full of life, full of energy. I never get tired. And I was one, anybody who knows me knows I loved my bed, and now I'm up in the morning and bright and breezy and really happy in life, and that was not always the case. I'm utterly delighted with myself. I have arthritis in my shoulders and my neck, and have been in severe pain for probably 2 years. And I noticed 5 weeks after taking the products that the pain, well, it was easing, but I thought, well, that's just, you know, one of these things, and perhaps. But after 8 weeks, I could say that the pain was gone. And that is now about 9 months ago. And I forget I have arthritis now. I am so well. And other benefits, my eyesight has improved. In the hairdressers, I no longer need my glasses to read the magazines, which is fantastic. And sickness, well, in work, my sickness, I would get the flu very badly each year. In the previous year, I was out sick 15 days. And in the last year, I haven't been out sick at all, not even one day. And I find my concentration at work is much, much better. My retention is better. My memory span, much, much improved. And my dentist is absolutely delighted with me, and my hygienist, which I was with only a couple of weeks ago, is absolutely thrilled. I have gum disease, but it is no longer apparent. My gums are lovely and healthy, and she's just delighted. And also, what else? My blood cells. I had my bloods, I saw them on a monitor last weekend, and they are beautifully round. The person doing the reading was excited. She said, "This is fantastic, beautiful round blood cells and a beautiful glow that shows that there is lots of oxygen going to those cells," and just fantastic. Absolutely delighted with the result. And all in all, my energy levels are great. Everything is working beautifully, and I'm very excited about the future.
The number of issues health-wise that I had were numerous. I have had a heart attack, I've had 3 mini strokes, I was obese, I was diabetic type 2, and I had sleep apnea. Now that's quite a lot of complaints, but thankfully today I can say that I'm complaint-free. I hadn't felt my 2 big toes in 10 years. I now feel my toes again. It's marvellous. My waistline has reduced considerably. I've come down from 18 stone to 14 stone. Now, it's not that I've been on a diet or taken any exercise. When it comes to the sleep apnea, I used to go to bed every night wearing what my wife called a spaceman's mask, hooked up to a pumping machine, which forced the air down my throat into my lungs. And because of the obese state that I was in, it was the actual muscle in my neck that used to relax so much that it blocked the airway. And it can be quite serious, and some people have actually died with that condition. And thank God, when I do go to sleep now, I go into an extremely delta type sleep, which is a major healing sleep. And I mean, I go to bed normally at 11 in the evening, and I wake at 5 in the morning, and when I wake, I wake. I just get out of bed and I feel great. I have noticed that with my hearing end of it, I used to play the music when I was young, and therefore I had a perforated eardrum, which they duly put a patch on. That was at the age of 22. My hearing in my left ear has been roughly about 30% since that date. And even with my eyesight, I mean, these glasses here, I would normally, say when I get up in the morning, I would go to the bathroom, I'd wash my hands, and then I'd take off my glasses and I'd wash my face. And then one morning I looked in the mirror, and I usually have to put my glasses back on to shave. But I didn't have to. My sight had improved. Now, since that, I've had my hearing checked and my eyesight checked, and they tell me that I have a 45% improvement in my hearing, and I have a 50% improvement in my eyesight. So much so that they may have to reduce the strength of the lenses in these glasses. So at 63 years of age, from a man who had one leg in the departure lounge and one in the duty-free, I still have a lot of living to do, and I feel as if I am 25 years of age with the energy. Believe me, my 2 feet are now back in the arrival zone.